Greetings, this is Sloshworks, and welcome to something new. This is Expedition Vikings. It looks really, really awesome. I've never played any other games by these guys, but I've seen them around. I've seen people playing them, and they look really, really fun. This has just come out, not that long ago, just a few days ago, I think, maybe a week. But I played about half an hour or so just to kind of get used to it and see if it'd be something that'd be worthwhile playing on the channel. And I am absolutely blown away by this game. It looks like so much fun. So I thought we'll give it a bit of a go. This is Expedition Vikings. We're going to start a new game. Your father's last journey was bound for the British Isles. Less than half of the men returned. Alright, so we're going to be Slosh. Our father's name. Let's go for... I don't know, let's go through a little bit of them and see. One that might be fun to say. Jaffnahar? No. Skaldbjorn? No, I don't want to have to say it. Ulfricker. We'll go with that. That seems like something that I might enjoy saying. So we are Slosh. I mean, it's not the most exciting Viking name of all time, but we'll go with that. The skin colour, since we're Vikings, doesn't make a huge amount of difference, but we'll go with this one. Eye colour, I kind of feel we need to go with blue. And hair colour, I really think red's the way to go. So, are we going to be medium, large, or thin? We'll go with large. We're going to go with scarred. We're going to go with a bushy beard because we have to. We just have to. I pull back, I'm not sure. I kind of like that. That to me feels like a Viking. And clothes, I mean, not going to go fancy, definitely not. I think leather might be the way to go. And bare arms, I mean, that feels to me pretty good. And we'll go with boots. Do we have boots? Boots. Definitely not pink. Not going to go with pink. Go with like kind of earthy colours. I kind of feel like green, and that's probably pretty good, and we'll go with grey. That, to me, that feels like something that people might actually have worn rather than this bright pink garish kind of colour. But this is Slosh. Don't know a huge amount about the best way to play this game, but it looks to me like you've got a lot of kind of control over what kind of character you have. Now, okay, so this is governed by strength to gain axe, so it's two-handed melee. So we're going to go with, or do we want the one-handed melee with a shield? So I'm going to put one on that, the axe with a shield, and I'm going to get a bow as well. I'm not going to get a spear or a shield. Maybe we'll get one skill in the shield and we'll get one in the bow. So that we've used quite a lot of our skill points there. You can see the upgrade cost is 9. So offensive skills, we should probably get something. Makes a melee attack with +5 damage for every hex you move before attacking the target. I think that's a good idea. Charge is always a pretty good idea. Interrupt, free for all characters. Oh, we get that anyway, so that's fine. Rebuke, a kick that moves the target 1 hex away. No, we don't really want that. I think stun might be actually worth going for. I think stun costs 12, but we might be worth getting us. Support skills, not 100% sure on what these actually are, but they're certainly this skill requires another nationality. Okay. So Constitution, what are these? Halves the deterioration risks for infections. Adds the ability to craft weapons. Oh. Let's just get one crafting skill. We've got 4 skill points left. What are these? There's so many different things that we can get here. What could we get? There should be something. I mean, we've got 4 left. Receive an extra... No. Look, I mean, we could... Unlock special dialogue options. Let's do that, because I know we are going to be kind of running our own little tribe here. Now, if we go to the weapons, you can see that the shield is governed by endurance, bow is governed by perception, of course, and axes is governed by strength. So if we put up strength, endurance, and so shield is endurance, strength, and perception. Now, sense is mental resistance and stamina. I kind of feel finesse determines base damage with knives and spears and critical chance with all weapons. So we'll just do 6, 6, 6, and 5. So we're kind of a general good. So we've got 104 hit points, 6% damage reduction, 80% accuracy, 22% physical resistance, 2% block chance, 20% mental, which is mental resistance, 34 stamina, how many hours a character can go before becoming fatigued, getting 2 shifts of sleep at camp will reset the timer, and critical chance is 6%. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a huge knowledge of how this game works, but I think we're going to be okay with that. You haven't spent all of your skill points yet. Are you sure you want to continue? You can assign any leftover skill points later, so we'll leave that. We've only got 1 left. Let's go. The intro to this was epic, so I might sit back and just let you enjoy.
Your father was a great warrior and a good husband, but he was not a strong chieftain to his clan. As he travels to join his brothers in the Halls of Valhalla, you must take his place. Our clan is beset by petty squabbles. Some amongst our people would contest your claim to leadership, as they sought discord our neighbors' plot against us. Gather your most trusted clansmen. Together you will face dangers which none can predict. You will be challenged on your leadership, your resolve, your wisdom. Build a ship and take your housecarls across the sea. Power and strength for our clan must be sought outside the Norselands. If you show yourself to be bold, the gods will follow you into battle. Your legacy will live for 1,000 years beyond your time. Our clan must prevail.
Seriously, how cool is that? It's just, the music's building and everything's awesome. I absolutely love that intro. I mean, it's not fantastically animated or anything like that, but it doesn't need to be. That really got me into the feeling of the game. I mean, it's absolutely awesome. I just love Vikings. So yeah, your father's last journey was bound for the British Isles, and less than half of his crew returned. So our father's died. He was the... oh god, I can't remember what they call him. I don't want to say chief. Aid me, Odin, in my effort to bind the struggles of a bygone time as a glimmering light on glass. Don't know what that means, but it sounds very, very cool. Okay, it is the evening after your father's funeral. When you close your eyes, the image of his blazing ship shimmers in the dark behind your eyelids. It's not a common ritual this far south, but your mother, Astridr, who hails from the land of the Geats, insisted on it. All the thanes of the neighbouring clans have come to attend your feast in his honour. Your father may not have been the most successful thane, but as a warrior he commanded the respect of many. The guests are filling into your longhouse. The thanes enter first, each trailing a modest group of warriors. Your mother leans in to whisper a few words of advice before she takes her seat. You should greet each of the thanes before the feast begins, but listen well to their words. Few of them would benefit from making this a smooth transition. It will be important to know where they stand. Alright, so characters with golden nameplates have dialogue for you. Click on them to talk to them. The icon over your chair is the quest marker. You can turn these off in the game settings for a more independent play experience. Gold quest markers indicate mandatory objectives, and talking to the other thanes is not mandatory, marked by the silver quest markers, which indicate optional objectives. When you want to move on, just take a seat by clicking on your chair. So, we need to talk to these dudes. Ragnil Hildur the White is the most influential of your guests. As the vassal of King Sigurd Hringar. This is going to be awesome, and all of these pronunciations are going to be wrong. She is the current ruler of Denmark. Oh, that's me. I was going to say that doesn't look like a she. She's come from the trade hub of Ribe to the south, where she presides as Jarl. She nods politely as you approach her seat. It was a beautiful ceremony, Slosh. I extend my condolences for your loss on behalf of Ribe and of the king. I must tell you, I advise him not to seek out the isles across the sea. We've all heard the stories of the unprotected coasts and their treasures, but there is more danger than the rumours let on. I'm not surprised when they claimed his life, but I'm glad that he at least died with a sword in his hand. Thank you for accepting the invitation. We are honoured that you could make it. Of course. So our reputation with bribe has increased by 1. Your father's sword will be missed in our struggles against the Franks. Did you know Ulfricker well? I knew him as a warrior. We fought together on the Bravela, and he struck me as a shrewd tactician. When your king needs you, I hope that you will serve him as well as your father did. I will serve, you have my word. I'm glad to hear it. Our king will not forget those who aid him in battle. I must do the rounds. The old shield maiden smiles. She gracefully slides back down into her seat, whereupon she spears a large piece of chicken with her knife and dumps it on her plate. Alright, now, who's this? Nefja.
There you are.
Oh, hi.
The feast seems to be off to a good start.
Nefjar is one of your oldest friends. Your families have always been close and you grew up together in the village. She's just finished pouring your mother a mug of mead. It's nice to see you out of your armour for once. You've seen my sister in this dress before. Surely that's the same thing. God, she was so excited to see me like this. I'll never hear the end of it. What do you think of our guests? Your fellow Thanes are certainly a proud and graceful bunch, even as they plot to murder you and take our lands. Yep, that's certainly the sense I'm getting. Oh, I'm sure not all of them are actively planning to kill us. I have a weird feeling about Skull, though. I doubt they call him Skull Cleaver for no reason. Halfdanner plays the lovable old grump, but I know he's had his eye on our harbour for years. Ragnhilda, I'm not sure about. She probably has nothing to gain from destroying us, but she's little more than Sigurd, Hunger, can't say these things, appendage, and who knows where he stands. Whereas Ifura, my poor sister has a fever again. She has such a frail constitution. All this wet cold is hard on her. Mother stayed home to care for her. Okay, I have to go be a good host. So that's my friend. Nefja is my friend. So that's good to know. We do have a friend. Oh, what's all this stuff down here? Wood. We've got 30 wood, 0 salvage, 6 hides, 50 medicine, 500 valuables, 35 rations, 0 meat, 3 thralls. I don't know what that means in this context, but there you go. We've got 0 herbs. Kettle Kolb Jarnarsson.
Busy entertaining your guests?
The young hunter appears to be watching the feast with a faintly amused expression, and he nods respectfully when you come near. Busy entertaining your guests, he says. As busy as you'd expect. What are you doing over here? Trying to decide who to pick a fight with. I want this feast to be memorable, and no one tells stories of a feast without a fight. Jokes aside, have you seen Skull's Huskarls over there in the corner? I can't say that at all. I've heard stories about them. Neff just seems to be expecting trouble too, so I've decided to go easy on the meat and keep an eye out. I appreciate that. It never hurts to be careful. Speaking of which, keep an eye on the big lug back there. Throws his head back slightly towards Aslefer. He and his friends have been putting their heads together all night. I think he might be planning something. Aslefer is family. He wouldn't attack me. Sure, he wouldn't do anything underhanded, but it's basically tradition for your families to fight over who gets to sit in the big chair. But this is your feast. I'll watch him and his friend. You should relax and enjoy yourself. So that's the one he just said that he's keeping his eye on. Okay, so Aslefer is a distant cousin. Leadership of the clan has moved between your side of the family and his for generations. He's totally gonna attack me.
Our condolences on the passing of your father. At least he died the way he would have wanted. We will be feasting with the gods tonight.
He's on his way to Valhalla. Thank you. I hope there is no bad blood between us. It's no secret I didn't agree with how Ulfricker ruled our clan. Bearing this in mind, I don't see what gives you the right to succeed him, but this feast is in his honour. I will not insult his memory here, nor will I challenge your claim to leadership. You believe you would be more suited to lead us? I do. You are wrong. I hope you will give me a chance to prove it. Aslefer simply nods once, then returns his attention to his companions. So he's probably going to be a bit of a problem. Who's this? Rurik. Who's Rurik? Look at this guy. Your elder brother, Rurik. Wait a minute. What? If I've got an elder brother, why isn't he taking over? Your elder brother, Rurik, always had a penchant for music. He looks up and gives you a warm smile as you approach him. Got kveld, brother. Rurik grins. I mean, my honoured Thane. How do you feel? I can't believe what a mess the old man left me. It's a fine mess, isn't it? I wish I could have been the leader Father always wanted me to be, so I didn't have to leave you with all this responsibility. If anyone disrespects you, let me know about it. I'll make sure it doesn't happen twice. Everyone knows you are the better warrior and a stronger willed man than I. No one wants me as their Thane. To tell you the truth, I think our clansmen are almost as relieved as I am that you took on the mantle. Okay, so we've talked to all those dudes. I guess the Skullcleaver, that's right, we heard about you. Halfdanner. He almost looks like Robert Baratheon from the actual show there. Ulfrica is in Valhalla. It's Valhalla, right? Now Slosh. There's no doubt about it. He died doing what he loved. But while he feasts among the heroes, you're left back here to sort out the pieces. You've got your work cut out for you. You speak ill of my... No, what do you mean? Your father managed to make quite a few enemies in his time, most of them among his own clan. If you'll permit me to be honest, he never paid one speck of attention to the wishes or needs of his people. Yeah, but see, I know that, but I don't think I'm allowed to say that. Surely you're not expecting your claim to leadership to go uncontested? I know many disagree with my appointment. It will be a difficult transition. Well, shit. As long as you know trouble is brewing, you can take steps to prepare for it. Damn right. He sculls his drink. O to view goals. Okay, so we just need to talk to one more, which is this dude here. And then we should be able to go on to the next part of it and see what happens. Skull Skullcleaver is the Thane of Gelling, which borders your area. Gelling is a large territory, and Skull is one of the most powerful Thanes in Jutland. Gelling has prospered under his rule. Slosh, my boy, so sorry about your father. If there's anything the people of Gelling can do to aid you in these trying times, don't hesitate to ask. It's very kind of you. Of course, we must all stand together against the Frankish threat. Tell me, what are your plans for this place? How will you lead your clan? I'll start by expanding our defences. You really are Ulfrica's son, aren't you? Just take care not to lose touch of your people's needs in their eagerness to defend them. Really? He lets out a deep sigh and leans back in his seat. I'm sure you know I fought with your father many years ago. We were very much of a similar inclination, he and I. That man had a real taste for battle, not like his brothers. Mark my words, Slosh. True bonds are forged in battle, not bound in blood. He came to me for advice before he mounted his last journey, on account of my ties to Kalpang. That can't be the way you say that, but that's how I'm going to say it. I should have warned him better about what he was getting himself into. What does Kalpang have to do with it? Vikings out of Kalpang have been to the Isles across the sea. I've heard many stories about it, since I often go there to trade. Your father wanted to hear if the stories were true. Ah, but I've taken too much of your time already. I know you have other guests to entertain, but I want to know what more about... Ugh. Okay, so we've done everything there. Let's go sit down. Skarky says, this must be the most pathetic mead hall in Jutland. If you're going to insult our hosts, at least have the sense to whisper. I'd heard Ulfrica had neglected his clan for years, but this is just sad. Maybe his son will do a better job. I doubt he'll live long enough to get the chance. I can't, like, tell you guys to be polite. Following the initial meet and greet, everyone toasts to your father and digs into the meal. Food covers every inch of the table, and the freshly brewed mead seems to flow endlessly. Ooh, something's happening. You're listening to Nefja's usual complaints about her mother when Kettle perks up and slips discreetly out of the longhouse. Outside, some piece of pottery crashes against the ground and men begin to shout. In short order, the door flies open and the doorway is filled with Ottar Erlingsson, sword in hand. Outside, you see his brothers standing over the prone form of Kettle. Ottar looks around the room with disgust. What a splendid feast for such a shit thane. Slosh, your family has had its chance to earn our respect and you have wasted it. Come outside and defend your honour or we'll burn this hall to the ground. Nefja jumps to her feet, already holding a knife. Her voice seethes with disgust. Ottar, you miserable drunkard! How dare you attack your thane's honour during his own feast? Your family will pay for this. Ottar has turned his back on you and is already walking back outside. All the other guests turn their gaze to you in anticipation. Your mother leans into whisper in your ear. You have to handle this. If the other thanes think we're weak to deal with... If we're too weak to deal with such a blow against our family's honour. This will not sound Nefja. Are you with me? By the gods, he's going to make us kill him this time, isn't she? Isn't he, she says. Alright, so let's head out here. I guess we pick up our weapons there. Retrieve your weapons from the rack by the door. Okay, so take all. Now that you've got your weapons, it's time to equip them. Okay, so I do know how this works. So we chuck the mead down there, and we've got the two different weapon sets there and there. Yep. No, I know how to do that. Cool. In combat, you can activate, deactivate your abilities by pressing the numerical keys on your keyboard. I don't know what that means. I'm sure we'll work that out as we go. No, don't do that not loading thing. Sometimes. So we have had drunk people crash our party and challenge our honor, our leadership. in the middle of our own feast for us taking over the reign of Thane. Most of the guests follow you outside and form a half circle behind you. You're dimly aware of the other Thanes muttering amongst themselves. You okay there, Meccans? You coughing? Gross. Neftja runs over to Kettle to help him back to his feet. A streak of blood runs from his hair down his cheek, but it looks like he can still fight. 4 against 1. This is what the sons of Erlinga Thorgslin? I can't do that. Consider a fair fight. I know I could do that. I could do that because I've got diplomacy, but I don't want to. Does your father know you're here destroying his name? Ottar says he does not, but he will be proud of us when Aslefa is finally our Thane instead of you. Aslefa, you've gone too far, Ottar. There is no honour in this. I must take Slosh's side here. Fine, we'll kill you all, then I'll be Thane. See, I don't think that's going to happen, buddy. Alright, so this is how combat works. And it's kind of interesting. So we've got blue hexes under us and red under allies. Make default attacks or use the ones here. There is cover. So we've got Nefja. It has a spear, so she can actually attack from here. And she got a critical hit already. So if I put her, so you can see the cover kind of shows up like that. So actions and movement, I'll explain all that as we go. So we've used her attack move. I have my attack of opportunity available. Now I did the charge thing, didn't I? Yeah, so it makes a melee attack with +5 damage for every hex you move before attacking the target. So that's 1, 2, that's plus 10 damage. See what we do with this. Okay, so that dude tried to start a fight with us, and he lasted 4 seconds. So an enemy has just fallen. This will likely happen often both to you and to enemies. When herdmen get incapacitated, they can be revived during combat or left down until the end of combat. Incapacitated herdmen will automatically get back on their feet after combat. If an enemy is killed, the red hex at their feet will disappear, so he's dead. If you decide to leave a herdman incapacitated, they risk getting an injury. The longer they stay down, the worse the injury can become. And from what I can tell, from the little bit that I did play, is that injuries are going to play a pretty big part in this because they never go away. So this is our dude who's an archer, I think. Yeah, he's an archer. So if I get him in cover here, and then, yeah, I understand how cover works. There's the half and the full. That's fine. If someone stands next to him, you get out of cover. So we can do... Makes a range attack that deals 25% damage, but takes away all the target's move for the next turn if it hits. We're just going to use a default attack on this guy. Any status effects applied to the character will show above the hit points bar. Status effects can last anywhere from a few rounds to several in-game hours. Some are even permanent. Fatigued is one of the more punishing. Yeah, I don't know what harried does, but you can see that he's harried down the bottom there. Not 100% sure what that means. Now this is Aslefa. He is a defender, he's a hunter, she is a scout, and Slosh, which is me, is a combatant apparently. I don't really know what that means. So we've got him, and he can step in here and take this guy out. I'm sure we'll actually get him. So that's 2 of them down, and if I get, that's me, if I get him into cover, and I'll get her into cover over here because she has a spear and it can actually reach two hexes, and we'll be able to go get him in the next time. So let's end our turn and see what happens. Activated demoralized. So that basically, I think that's just them yelling, going like "rawr" and stuff like that, but I'm not 100% sure what it means. So actually we've got harried. So if we, can I see what harried means? No, I can't. It's alright. So we're going to run around and attack this guy. I think harried just means like you're nervous. I mean, it can't just be that, but so that is what chance of it hitting? 45% chance to hit. So we'll give it a go. He's not in full cover, so he's harried now, and we'll get you to go there, and you can attack from there. She's in cover, and Slosh, I mean, if I can do charge, I can't get there though. That's a pity. So we'll take charge off, and we'll just get him to go to here. it would be kind of... I guess we can just get him to go over to there. The bow guys, everyone's had an attack. They're probably going to hit us, but we should, I mean, it's the first combat, we should be okay. Just run over here. Slosh is actually doing most of the damage here. Really? You just go away. Critical hit 60, that's excellent. I do wonder if the spear does different kind of damage and different type of attack. Now there is actually a button here, toggle non-lethal attack, so we could have actually turned on non-lethal attack so we didn't actually kill any of them. We didn't do that though. So Kettle has an existing injury, which is light trauma on his head, so I'm not sure what that actually does. So you can say this is all of their inventories basically. It shows you have new injuries and stuff like that. Otar Erlingson lies on the frozen earth in a small pool of his own blood. His blank eyes gaze at the sky. Otter's surviving brothers are slowly getting to their feet. None of them has any fight left in them. Nerfja regards the survivors with a mixture of disdain and sadness. What do we do with them? Execute them. The grim work does not take long. Your guests look on solemnly as the snow in front of your feast hall turns red with the blood of the farmers. If any of them doubted your resolve before now, they see what you are made of. Oh look! 2 of them survived. But not for long. That's awesome! I feel like a Viking. Aslefa steps forward. He does not look the least bit tired from the fight. I supported you here tonight because Ottar and his brothers were out of line. It is not the way of our clan to kill each other in drunken brawls. Slosh, son of Ulfricker, I challenge you to a duel for the position of Thane. An excited murmur rises amongst the guests. Kettle mutters in a voice too low for anyone other than you and Nefja to hear. Can you believe this Biku Sommer? I don't know what that means. It is his right to issue such a challenge. His timing could be better though. I accept your challenge. He nods, apparently satisfied. We will meet on Holmgang Island at noon on the morrow. May the gods favour you. Click on the compass rose to open the area map. Okay, so if I click here, it shows us the area map. So you can see that leads to a different area, to a different area, to a different area. It's a burial site, a witch's hut, blacksmith. That's our longhouse, and that's where we are. I think it's Alt. Yeah, Alt is what shows the things that you can loot. I don't think there's a way to keep it permanently on. We've got some skill points though. Yeah, no, I know. Alright. I kind of feel that that's 9 to upgrade. And I think that'll be base damage by 12, and then we get different attacks there. So I'm actually going to upgrade that one. And we've used most of our skill points, and that's pretty good. That actually feels like one of the best places to leave this episode. We've kind of seen the basics of it. We've had our feast ruined by some drunken farmers who we stabbed to death in the snow. And that was kind of how things went. So we can't actually loot them yet, but I think we can in the future. Okay, so I can't there, but I can there. Anyway, this is Expedition Vikings. This is something completely new. It's another RPG. We haven't done an RPG in a while. I mean, the last one I kind of feel might have been Pillars of Eternity, and we never even finished that one. This looks absolutely fascinating, and I can't wait to get deeper into it and see kind of how the actual raids go on other settlements, as well as running the village and all that kind of stuff. I can't wait to see how that all works. As always, thank you so much for watching. Any hints or questions or suggestions or whatsoever, please do leave them down below in the comments. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. I'll see you guys next time.